Hello GD&T students. This is the walkthrough video for GD&T. Um, I'm Mr. Mandolinich. I'll be your instructor this semester. What I'm going to do is just go through the how the course is set up and where to find stuff in Blackboard. Okay, so when you log into the course in Blackboard, this will take you to this screen. This will be the announcement screen. I don't have any announcements up yet, but what I tend to do with announcements is I'll be sending you an announcement typically every Sunday to let you know what we're going to be working on this week in GD&T, throughout this semester. So a little reminder, just to send you an announcement, let you know what we're doing, keep you on course. The other place to go here would be the Start Here folder. There's some useful information in the Start Here folder. Let me show that to you now. Here's the course overview for you. We have a file here for instructors welcome. This right here would be the course walkthrough video. I'll send you an announcement, the first announcement, and it'll point you to this particular file to watch, and you'll be watching this video. What I want to do right now is go over the spring semester syllabus. You'll find that here in the Start Here folder. Okay, so this is GD&T, Geometric Dimensioning and Tolerancing, the ET226, 2 credit hours, 3 contact hours. The prerequisites for this were your DET 124 work and drawings. Here's the course description. This course is designed to introduce students to the type of dimensioning that is part of the ANSI 14.5M 1994 dimensioning standard. When I say part of, we're going to be studying a later revision of the ANSI Y14.5M standards. It's actually, we're going to be actually studying the 2018 version. General tolerance methods will be reviewed first. That's what we're going to be starting. Then the geometric characteristic symbols and terms will be discussed. Datums will be defined and modifiers will be identified. The geometric tolerances of form, runout, orientation, profile, and location will be analyzed in detail. The GD&T system will then be applied to actual manufacturing drawings. Special attention will be given to the problems that are experienced in industry between design, manufacturing, and inspection personnel. The general learning outcomes here, these are college-wide, but we're in the top 4 of these for this class. 4 would be critical thinking, 3 would be information literacy, 2 would be quantitative literacy, and number 1 would be effective communication. So these are your general learning outcomes for this course. Here's my course objectives here. Upon successful completion of this course, students should be able to dimension according to the ANSI Y14.5 1994 dimensioning standards. Well, it'll be more like the 2018. GDT has gone through some evolutionary changes, not revolutionary changes since 1994. So a lot of these are just kind of like lessons learned and advanced ways to look at things, and past practices that probably weren't so good were phased out, that kind of thing. So I'm saying the changes to the ANSI Y14.5 standard are just evolutionary. The next one would be to demonstrate an understanding of general tolerancing methods. Number 3, apply the geometric characteristic symbols and terms to engineering drawings. Number 4, define datums and modifiers. We're going to spend a lot of time on that in this course. Next one is demonstrate an understanding of geometric tolerances of form, runout, orientation, and profile. Those would be all in your chapter lessons. And apply the GD&T system to actual manufacturing drawings. We're going to be doing that as we go along. And demonstrate an appreciation of the problems that are experienced in industry between design, manufacturing, and inspection personnel. You can read here for these Stark State policies and disability services. If you need disability service, please don't hesitate to contact them. And then here's your student computer usage guidelines. And then here are some student resources for you to explore. here is the actual course syllabus. This is a Web 3 class, so it's entirely online. Um, and here are our methods of assessment. Well, the textbook's the GD&T Applications and Interpretation 7th edition by Bruce Wilson. And then there's going to be other materials that I'll be giving you in the Blackboard content. Okay, so here's how you're going to be graded. There are 3 tests in this class. That's worth 45% of your grade. There are 11 assignments in this class, and they're worth 30%. And then quizzes that go along with the assignments, they're 15%. And then finally, there's a project at the end of the semester that'll be worth 10%, for a total of 100%. So all items within each category are weighted equally. Like some assignments, all assignments are of the same weight. Okay, so what I'm saying there's 11 assignments, and what I'm going to do is take your average for each assignment and then average all of the averages. That's what I mean. And same with the tests. There's 3 tests. Each one of those tests is essentially 15%. So they're divided equally weighted within the category. This just goes down to say what, and I'll go over this a little bit when I talk about the lessons. And this is a typical grading scale for a Stark State. A's are 100 to 90%, B's are 80 to 89%, C's are 70 to 79, and then D's are below that. In your grade book in Blackboard, it'll tell you what these percentages are as you go along. As you enter assignments and I score those assignments, Blackboard will keep a running tally of where you're at in terms of what your score is in the class. And these numbers are all calculated automatically by Blackboard. I have the grade book all set up in Blackboard, so as you submit assignments and we grade them in Blackboard, you'll see your scores. I'm not going to go through to this academic withdrawal dates too much, but what you need to know that if you really get in trouble, the last day to process a withdrawal for this class would be 4/17/2023. And we'll be going over this schedule, in a little bit here. I want to go over the schedule, but okay, let me go back. So the other place I put the schedule is right here. It's just so it's handy so you can see it. I made a PDF PNG file of the schedule, and I put it right here. If you ever get lost, you ever get confused, you ever get confused about what's going on in the class or where we're at, okay, look here. Okay, here's a required textbook. It's the 7th edition by Bruce A. Wilson. Here's what it looks like. It's got an airplane engine on the front of it. Then there's some other resources in here, how grades are determined. That's just the evaluation plan from your syllabus. These are some handy links I've given you if you need help. Here's the required software, technical skills, and academic support. Blackboard Student Resources website, net etiquette guidelines, accessibility and privacy information, and finally Stark State institutional policy. So you can get a lot of handy information here. Before I continue, let me take a look at the schedule. Okay, so here's the schedule. It's divided by chapters. So every week we're going to essentially be working on a chapter. So week 1 we're going to be working on this chapter. It's chapter 1, Introduction to GD&T. These dates here are typically Mondays. I do not believe that this one's a Monday due to the Martin Luther King holiday. But typically these dates shown here are Mondays. And then typically what happens is a week later, the assignment 1 is due. Okay, so the next week, okay, we're going to talk about chapter 2, and then chapter 2 is due the following week, and here's chapter 4, and then chapter 4 is due the following week. Here is where the tests are. The tests are going to be 213. 327, and then 5/8. 5/8's also where your project is due. So all of the due dates for the class are shown here on your calendar/schedule. Okay, chapter 1 is just the introduction. Chapter 2, we're going to talk about dimensioning and tolerancing symbols. Chapter 3, we're going to talk about the general dimensioning requirements. Chapter 4, we're going to talk about dimensional applications and limits of size. And then we kind of get into GD&T proper from there. Chapter 5, we're going to talk about form tolerances. We talk about form tolerances first because form tolerances don't require any datums. And then chapter 6, we're going to take a couple weeks on chapter 6 because understanding datums and how to apply datums and datum features and how to interpret datum features and set the proper precedents, it really sets up the course for what we're going to be talking about the rest of the class once we get through the datums. And then that sets up spring break for us. And then we're going to go into the other types of geometric tolerances of orientation, positional tolerancing, a little bit more on positional tolerancing, runout tolerances, and then finally profile tolerances. In week 15, I'll be introducing a project. I'll probably be introducing it sooner than that. And then that project is due here on the 12th, as is test 3. Everything in this course is online. You're going to be submitting your assignments online. In Blackboard, you're going to be taking your quizzes and your tests online in Blackboard. So this course is 100% online. So let's go back to content. Another handy place here would be the course messages. If you ever need to get a hold of me, this is a good way to do it. If you have any problems, issues, you don't understand something, we can get together, we can have a Zoom, we can, I can talk you through some things, but for the most part, there's no meetings in this class. But if you want to get a hold of me, you need to get a hold of me, you need to contact me, do it here through course messages. I'll be in every week and checking those messages. Let's go look at the lessons, see how they're structured. Okay, I got these grayed out because I open these lessons as we go along, but here's how each one of these lesson folders are structured. So chapter 1, we have the directions. So for this lesson, you are to download and print the chapter objectives. From the materials folder, you are to review the chapter PowerPoints and video presentations while following along with the objectives. It's very important to do that. Then you're going to study the textbook to reaffirm the information in the Blackboard contents. You're going to complete the chapter assignment and submit your solution by the Dropbox. And then finally complete the quiz. The quizzes are pretty easy. They are like, they're like overview questions, 10, 15 multiple choice questions. So it would behoove you to do the chapter assignment before you take the quiz, because the quiz is just a highlight. So I urge you to do the chapter assignment. So within the chapter assignment, I'll show you one here. There is a certain number of questions. I just want you to circle the correct answers. This was a good way for me to do it. I like this format because you're going to print this out and you're going to have this in front of you as you're studying the material. If something comes up, you're going to use this as you study. It's kind of like a study guide for the material. So you're going to fill it out as you go along. And then once you're done with that and you're confident with the material, then you can go ahead and take the quiz. So these are all tells you what the due dates are, and this one it's 123. Where you're going to find all your materials to study is right here in the materials folder. Okay, so what we'll have the objective sheets. So open up the objective sheets. I would print these out. Use it to take notes on as you're studying the material. And then one of the things to really look at are these terms down here. These are the terms that could show up in your tests and in your quizzes, and then also in the study guides. So these are the terms that you need to know as you're going through. So as you're studying through, pick out these important points as we talk about them in the presentations, and then take some notes here on what these terms are. And I provide these objective sheets for every chapter. And then finally, these are these video presentations. They go along with this is a PowerPoint presentation here, but the video presentation is me narrating, kind of like this movie that you're watching now, where I would go through the finer points of it. So you can take more time to look at the presentation after you watch the movie, because I try to keep the movies short. The movies are rarely exceed 10 minutes because it just gets difficult to sit through these things sometimes. So I try to keep them short. So that's how we're going to do each lesson. And then there's going to be a folder for each lesson, and then there's going to be a folder for the tests. So when you go to the test time, you open up the folder and you take the test there. Here's where you'll be submitting your project file to the final Dropbox. You can see some of these are grayed out. That's because I open them as we go along in the class. So when the class opens, I'll probably open 2 of these. I'll probably keep 1 open ahead of time all the time. So in a nutshell, that is the overview of our course for GD&T, and I look forward to working with you this semester. And good luck, and I hope we have a great semester. Thank you.